Hello world. Here's a rapid fire update for me. Things are going really well, but it's also really stressful because finals are in a month now, and I have a giant memo worth 60% of the grade of one of my classes due Tuesday, as in a week from now. After Thanksgiving, so I don't really have a Thanksgiving break, which the professor was so apologetic for. She's like, guys, I'm so sorry this has happened, but I mean, better now than like during finals, right? And we're all sure. We don't know. But yeah, so that's happening. But I'm trying to stay on top of outlining and things, and I think it's mostly working. I don't know. Um, yeah. We had a torts midterm at the end of October, ish, middle of October, in October. I don't know, and that went really well. So that's a good indicator that my study method, my study methods are working pretty well. Of finding the right facts to focus on, the right conclusions to draw, and then I've been using Quizlet a lot just to go over what each case kind of meant. So I'll have like I don't know, Byrne v. Bodel. That was about res ipsa loquitur, which that's a lot of Latin, but it's a fun concept. And that's I don't have really much more than that in my flashcards for Quizlet, but I don't think I need that because our torts professor is, very chill about facts. Professor Main for Civ Pro, Professor Kindred for contracts, they want a lot more facts, so I'm not sure that Quizlet will work with that, but on the plus side, it's open book, so Quizlet's not as much of a thing. Anyway, except I do want to have some Quizlet cards on the cases and what they refer to. So for instance, like, this case referred to modifying a contract, or this case was about, I don't know, what's a Civ Pro concept? Amendments. Oh, just kidding, I like amendments, kind of. Anyway, just so that, it's not like I won't have access to all of my notes for the exam, but I do want to just have in my head quick reference that, if this is an amendment problem, I'll go straight to this case. So that's my current plan to see how that goes. But yeah, so torts midterm went well, which is great because my first memo was not so great. I was below average for my class, which is a small class, so that's not great. And I think mostly, most of her comments related to, I just don't have enough, I'm lacking sufficient facts and detail for things, and some typos and some signing problems, which the only thing there that really makes me nervous about making improvements for the second memo is the facts question, because I knew when I wrote this memo that, actually what happened was it was due on a Saturday night, and I got an invitation to go to a Ren Collective concert that night spontaneously, and I was like, I never do spontaneous things, and this is a concert. That's Ren Collective. So I went to that and just submitted this memo a little bit earlier than I meant to, which cut into my proofreading time and my double check all my citations time. So I think that's what happened there, which is not great. But at least I know, I got the grade back and was like, this is kind of what I deserve. So, yeah. In my defense, the Ren Collective concert did involve people dancing around with panda hats. Not hats, heads, panda heads, giant panda heads. So that was, that was a plus. And then in the meantime, I still got, oh yeah, and I didn't use up all the pages, which, I thought would be a good thing, because I was being concise, but I guess coupled with the lack of sufficient facts, that's not a good thing. However, I did have a very nice heading. So pro tip, guys, she likes headings. I think mine was in bold. Oh yeah, look at it. Mine's pretty bold heading. But also, yeah, lots of comments. Lots of comments everywhere, which is good. And most of mine kind of, related to just need a couple places where I need more depth, and then randomly my citations weren't right, because I was so proud of myself, guys, after doing political science for so long, because I nailed the Political Science Association citation format. I didn't have to consult anything for the last year or so of doing political science. I just could type out and then now I have to learn a new citation thing, and I didn't think that would bother me as much as it is, but I'll randomly throw commas in and not realize that I'm not supposed to, which again is the kind of thing that should come up when I'm proofing, and I knew when I submitted this memo that I should double check my citations, and then I went to a collective concert instead. So yeah, that happened. But on the plus side, you know, I showed her my outline for the second memo so far, and she likes the cases that I found. She likes my thought process so far. So I'll just slave over that during Thanksgiving and not have a life. But yeah, that happened. And then what else is going on? I feel like other stuff is happening too. I've been writing a lot of pure fiction. Actually, no, some of it's law. So what I'm basically trying to do is construct stories around various legal concepts. And so I've got like one on a products liability thing because I don't really like products liability, and I figured writing a story about it would help, which it kind of did, except then products liability kept expanding, and I'm like, this is way beyond the scope of my story now, so I might have to do another one. And then I've got one that's basically just like a timeline kind of from civil procedure, like, okay, you've got, you know, the 90 days to actually serve after you file your complaint, and then they have, you know, 21 days to respond, and then if it's a motion for more definite statement, it's like 14 days. I'm tracking all that, and that was actually pretty fun, and clearly that's working because I've still got it in my head even though I haven't worked on that story for a while. And then I've got another one that, well, actually, so this last one's more just about depositions for fun because I got really distracted researching depositions, which we're not even doing. But depositions are really cool. So yeah, so I've written like 90,000 words since October. Which is probably not the best use of my time. In my defense, it has triggered some pretty cool questions. Like I was asking my Civ Pro professor when we were talking about Venue, because I got so excited about Venue because it sounds like a really fun idea to play with for a story, which it is. To me. Anyway, so like he's telling us that you can only you know, if you don't object as to venue for the defendant, you don't object. And with your first filing, then it's waived. You're stuck with whatever venue the plaintiff suggests. And I was like, wait, but what if their first filing is in fact a motion for a more definite statement or a motion to strike something? And he's like, you're right. That's not the first filing. And I'm like, yes, maybe it'll come up in an exam. I can you know, throw it in there just to show off that I know that one fact, which Professor Main has been very explicit. He wants us to show off as long as it's somehow tied to the facts of the case. He's like, yeah, if you can name drop this thing, do it. So that's nice to know. Because I like doing that kind of thing. But yeah, he was really excited because I was asking some questions that honestly I wouldn't really have thought of if I hadn't been trying to think about how this stuff applies in real life in story form. So yeah, he had felt that, and that was reassuring that I'm thinking good thoughts or asking good questions. So yeah, contract is still scary. I mean, it's really fun. I like this class a lot. But we don't have a practice exam, so I can't take a practice exam. Well, we have one that everyone says wait until you know everything because you've got like one shot. So we're going to try to find some practice problems that are not from her, they're just from the internet, so who knows if they'll even be useful, and work through them as best we can and have her look at them and then tell us if we're on the right track, because that's really all we can do to test ourselves. But that's the plan. So that's my life. It's really good. Oh, actually, so I've finally committed to this church, Hope Church in Las Vegas, and it's a bit of a drive, but that's a horrible reason not to go to a church. It's also really big, and I'm not used to that. That's another horrible reason to not go to a church. So I'm going. And I'm meeting cool people, and there's this one girl that I leads a small group, and I asked her to meet up with me, and she's like, I know other people I can connect you to as well. I'm like, thank you. I need help finding people. So yeah, so that's really exciting, and it's an answer to prayer for me, and also I know for a lot of you guys back home who have been praying for me to find a really awesome church with some really cool people, and I think that's being answered. So yeah, that's is there anything else that's going on? Oh, wait, no, actually, I don't think I mentioned this yet. So a bunch of us are starting a student organization about psychology and the law. I haven't talked about this, have I? So this is really cool. We noticed some problems where the psychology is advanced beyond where the law currently is with respect to issues with mental health, with disabilities, with trauma, all of this stuff, really. And so we're starting a club to try to address that. We've already got some interest from faculty members and even some people that we want to have come speak to us about how we as lawyers can better work with mental health professionals and patients and all of that. And then at some point we'd love to like get some kind of training, something for, maybe not training, I don't know. We want to do something that would kind of educate judges, because they're the ones who really are deciding if there's going to be some kind of mental health exception to a standard or anything like that. A lot of judges have a lot of discretion over expert witnesses, which are super important in case of any kind of psychological element. Oh, and then also just attorneys who, they have a client who may or may not have some kind of psychological disorder, and the attorney doesn't know, and the person themselves, they don't always know. So that whole defense and all of those arguments based on it are just not even considered because you don't know. So just more education, I guess, is the hope. So also, we're hoping that in the end of spring we can bring puppies to the law school for a stress relief, which just sounds delightful. So that's happening, and that's very exciting and very intimidating. Oh, and then a lot of things are happening. So in the spring, before the spring semester even starts, over Christmas break, pretty much, I'm going to be doing a mock trial because I got on a mock trial team here with some other Section 2 classmates. Shout out to my new teammates. So that's also super exciting. I don't know how I'm going to have time to. I mean, it's technically before class starts, but I like the idea of reading ahead a little bit for like property, because I'm just kind of scared about property. I don't know what that class is going to be like. And then also, I'm taking evidence. We gotta choose electives, and I'm taking evidence, which apparently is very hard. But I'm super excited because rules of evidence, in my memory, are really fun. And the professor is the advisor for our psychology club. So that sounds like everything's going to work out fine, except that everyone says it's a really horrible, terrifying exam. So maybe it won't. But oh well, I'm in it now. So yeah, I think for reals, that's everything that's actually terribly important. So that's my life. I love and miss you all. Definitely be seeing you over Christmas break. Those of you back home, those of you at the law school, I'll see you over Christmas break too, probably, unless you leave, because I'll be here doing mock trial. But yeah, let's finish 2018 strong, everyone. Bye.